All right, so you're on live. This is Experience Butte, and we are with Dustin in his really cool house. This is awesome. I love it. I just love it. And so I guess I'm going to just start off asking you random questions.
Go ahead. Come on.
How did you find this house?
Oh, well, I wanted to live in Butte since I was a little kid, and...
I need to set this down.
Oh, go ahead. Anywhere
This is for you.
Oh, thank you. So, I went to Harrison Ave Realty, and they set me up with looking at 5 houses in Butte, and this was actually the second one I walked into, and I made it into this kitchen and knew this was the house. Made an offer on it, so.
Yeah, the floor.
Yeah, the floor.
The floor would get me first, because I love this floor.
Yeah, it was definitely made me happy.
Wow, and all the light? The
Yeah,
light coming in, you get it in the morning.
Yeah.
You get it in the evening, which I think is a must in any house, I think.
That was actually the thing I noticed in the listing was the light and the countertop.
Oh, wow.
And then through some research up at the archives, I found out that this house was built in 1910 over in McQueen by a man named Matt Petrin, and he was a miner at the Tramway mine, and they had 8 kids that lived in this house.
No way.
Yeah, and in 1977, the Anaconda Company bought it. That was part of the program with the expansion of the Berkeley Pit. They bought the house for market value at the time from Matt's youngest 2 daughters who lived in the house until they passed away, and they could buy it back for $1 and then have Tammy Eddie's move it over here. And they bought this land all over here and put the house here.
Set the house down.
Yeah, so it's been over here since '77.
So is that back there original, the tin, or?
No, I'm not. I think it's.
It looks fairly old, but it looks very original.
Well, the previous owners of the house did an excellent job maintaining it and updating it and still keeping all the good features of the house. So I was really lucky in that fact. A lot of the old Butte houses need a lot of work, but this one was pretty good.
We live in one.
Excellent.
We live in one, yeah. Sweet. So, Experience Butte page fans, just so you know, Dustin is an excellent curator of Butte mining historical artifacts, and if you go to his Instagram, you will see he's very down-to-earth storytelling. That's what appeals to me most about your posts.
Oh yeah.
It's just you just have this way of telling the story, and it's just very relatable, and it makes you curious, and it also makes you want to go digging with you. You know, it's like, oh, I wonder where he's going. So I will ask you some questions about that later. I have a pocket full of questions.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, I would love to see all the things that you have. Of all these things, will you just come upon by accident, or do you, because you've got some really cool signs up here.
Oh, thanks. Well,
where do you find a lot of this stuff?
You know, this is kind of a culmination of almost 30 years of collecting.
Really?
Wow. I'm 3rd generation underground miner and a 3rd generation junker. My grandpa and my dad both are antique collectors and dealers. And
you're a picker.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's the official term.
That's the official term these
picker,
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just always call ourselves junkers. But yeah,
sweet.
Just kind of, I try to collect. I tried to furnish this house with a lot of things from Butte. This little table here came out of the F&W Grand Silver Store uptown, which
I love it.
Became a Woolworths, and it's a chop and block. And this was a candy making table at a Gamers. That's almost a 500.
It's like a marble.
Slab. Yeah, it's a marble.
Whoa!
And it's got all the lines that are grooved into it from using the candy cutters. They actually use tables exactly like this at Shepherd's still.
Wow.
So yeah, it's kind of a.
Bet it weighs a lot.
Yeah, it's almost 500 pounds. I got some marks on the floor here where I almost lost it. But one thing I thought it'd be kind of neat to show you is not a lot of people have seen a carbide miner setup in action. So what we got here is this is calcium carbide. It's a man-made substance, and when it mixes with water, it produces acetylene, and this is what the guys in Butte used. Well, actually, all over.
Originally, when they were in the mines?
Yeah, this was the source of mine lighting.
No way.
All right. So on this, you fill the top tank with water, the bottom with calcium carbide, and then it makes acetylene gas here. Oops, we'll get it going here. So that's what they use for lamp source.
Oh, wow. That is way cool.
And then we can go in the mining room if you want. I'll show you what they used to use previous to the carbide lamps.
Yeah.
Oh, it's leaking. So these are miners' candlestick holders, and
I've seen those at the mining museum. They're pretty cool.
yeah, so that's what they used for light before they went to the carbide lamps, and then of course after the carbide lamps.
So the sharp tip was to poke them into the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, not for a weapon or anything.
Well, actually, there's
I'd accidentally poke somebody's eye out with that.
Yeah, no kidding. There has been. There's actually a book I was just reading last night that's talking about when a candlestick was actually used as a murder weapon. But
oops.
yeah, well, here's a picture up here of my dad and I underground, and there's a good example. We got a carbide lamp and then got the candlestick holders stuck into the rock.
Yeah.
He also stuck them in the timber and hang them on their hat.
Just really convenient way to poke them in somewhere.
Yeah. Just.
Wow.
And they actually put out a lot more light than one would expect. You know, they're pretty good.
Oh, you've done a great job of putting everything together on the walls. I mean,
Thanks.
like, have you considered being an interior decorator, or
No.
is that maybe your lost calling there?
No.
Yeah, everything just looks really well put together.
Thanks.
It's really nice.
It's kind of always been a dream of mine since I was a little kid. But actually, to have a house just like this and then to be able to set these displays.
Put all
up,
these cool things. I like gauges and stuff. I don't know why. It's just something about the numbers and their function that is just really, I don't know. It's very appealing to me, the whole industrial thing. So
sure. Well, these are steam gauges that probably came off of Hoyster boilers here in Butte. This one's, you can see on the dial, it's I. Kruger, Butte, Montana. And then this one here is the Tuttle Manufacturing and Supply Company, Anaconda and Butte. And this was actually
So they were actually made here?
Yeah. Yeah. So this was
Whoa.
This was actually bought out by the Anaconda Company. Marcus Daly and Tuttle were partners in it. The Anaconda Company bought it out, and this turned into Montana Hardware Company.
Wow.
So
that's very interesting.
These are the old plaques off the machinery. This one's from Tuttle Supply, and this one's from the Anaconda.
Yeah. Sweet. Wow. Now this stuff is really fascinating. So, like, at some point, are you gonna like become a museum? Like, do an actual museum?
I don't know. I've kind of museums definitely have their place, and we have some amazing museums around here. But I've always enjoyed the hunt of finding this stuff, and you know, people that I know are interested in it. You know, you can come over here and kind of have a little hands-on education on it, and get to look at the stuff. You know, and a lot of museums offer that too. But I don't know. I guess
it's in your blood, though, isn't it? It's in your blood. I mean, if you're third generation.
Yeah.
You know, so were your ancestors immigrants that had come to the United States just for the mining?
You know, I don't have a lot of good history on that. You'd think I would have crossed that off my list first to find it out, but I actually don't really have any ties in Butte other than pre-Prohibition. There was a guy named Joseph Schillinger who was a brewer for Butte Brewing Company. So I always claim that he's my great uncle or grandpa or whatever you want to say. But yeah, and actually I found that going through these old folk city directories. This is actually what got me collecting these things. Is you can go in here and list every person in Butte at the time, whatever year, and what their occupation was. So there's Joseph Schillinger, brewer, Butte Brewing Company, works at 701 Evans Ave. And the good part about that is, being that Butte's such a wonderful place, I was actually able to go to the house that he lived in and talk to the owner, and when they were remodeling, they found a board. This is a ship to Joe Schillinger, Butte.
No way!
Yeah, so I got that too.
That is awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I just, like I said, it's just been a passion and a hobby, just trying to save this stuff and educate some people on it, and hopefully get a next generation into liking this stuff,
Oh, yeah.
American Pickers and all that kind of spotlighted what some of the stuff is worth, but as far as the actual history of it and why it's important to save it, that's kind of what my job is.
Yeah, I think some people overlook that and just look at the money.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Butte documentary? It was just out not too long ago. They were doing Pledge Week on PBS, and it's when they were tearing down the Gallus frames, and the guy says, scrap metal is worth $75 a pound or a ton. A ton. What's your heritage worth? It's priceless. You can't just put money value on it when you know this is what your ancestors was their living. A lot of this stuff. So
absolutely, yeah.
It's very.
This is what the the town was founded on, and the state was shaped in the country. I mean, Butte's a city that electrified a nation. So,
yeah. Not a people know that. We should be super excited and proud about that. That we were the first for a lot of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was these guys right here. I mean, there's a group of fellows getting ready to go for work at the Anaconda mine. They've all got their candles in their pockets.
Yeah.
That's what there they are getting on a cage to go down there.
I love that picture. I've seen that picture before. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's really neat.
It's definitely.
What a sacrifice, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they sacrificed a lot of their health and sometimes their lives just to feed their families, and that's what this entire town was built on, is that sort of sacrifice.
You bet.
So.
And I think I was actually having a discussion of gamers with a fellow yesterday. I think we need to embrace the heritage and then keep moving forward and try to boost the tourism and tell the story of our city. Mm-hmm. People ask me all the time if I'm from Butte. No, I'm not. I'm not from Butte. I wasn't born here. I grew up in Leeds, South Dakota, but I come from a mining family, and all the miners from Butte weren't from here originally.
That's
they
right.
Came here.
That's right.
So
that's right.
There's only a small handful of us left, actual underground miners left in Butte. A lot of guys work at the pit here, but my best friend and I actually commute almost 300 miles to go to work as underground miners. So
yeah.
What
do you like best about that? I mean, other than obviously it's something that was in your family, but what is it that appeals about mining that what keeps you in it? It's not an easy job. It's a tough job.
It's not, but it's rewarding because I get to do something most people don't get to do. Mm-hmm. And I heard this quote, so I can't claim to own it, but a guy said, "Miner's the only person that actually ever gets to go someplace nobody's ever been before."
Yeah.
So every time we blast around, we're walking into a new place,
unknown territory.
Yep,
yeah,
it's never been explored before. So it's just, and I like to see the results of a day's work. That's always fun.
Yeah.
And the camaraderie. I got a great partner at work, and
I'm sure. Yeah.
Made a lot of great friends over the years. And
it's a brotherhood, really.
It really is. Yeah.
For miners, it is.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's just I don't know. It's a lot of pride in saying I'm a miner.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And then you come home, and then you come to a really nice home and everything that your work is paid off for.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you come home? I mean, how do you unwind after a long week of working underground? I mean, what is it that you do that kind of relaxes you at the end of the day?
Well, I'll be honest with you, my favorite thing in the world is go uptown to Gamers and drink some coffee and BS with all the
hang out
all
with the
Butte
old timers.
characters.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters in this town that have a lot of great stories to tell, and that's it's important for me to listen to all those stories and hopefully be able to pass them on again. Someday I'm going to be the guy that's 75 sitting at the counter, and I'm going to be telling these stories from when I was mining and from when those guys were mining, and just keep passing it down. So I mean, really, I walk around uptown Butte. I absolutely love this place.
Yeah,
it's just
that's how a heritage works. Is you just pass it on down.
Yeah,
pass it on down to your kids and your grandkids. So is your daughter just as into it as you are?
She's getting there.
She's getting there?
Yeah. She's
Does she ever go, Dad, what'd you find now? Oh, she likes to go digging with you, doesn't she?
She goes, she does. Yeah. She does everything with me, yeah.
That's really cool.
We've gone down in old mines together, and she was born into this too. So she's, I don't know if she really had much of a choice. But yeah, she's enthusiastic and she's extremely intelligent. So she's very helpful with all this stuff.
Yeah.
And she's found me stuff that I've walked right past the antique stores or.
She's got the eye for it now.
She does.
Cool.
She's really good at it. Yeah. I'm very proud of her. I probably won't be a fourth generation underground miner, but hopefully she'll carry on this. This will all be hers someday.
Yeah.
So.
Very cool. So what do you like? What do you like best, the hunt or the find? When you're looking for stuff, is it the thrill of knowing that you might find something, or is it when you actually find something that is priceless?
Well, that's actually changed a lot over the years because it used to be important for me to get the stuff and have the stuff. And my walls are kind of getting full now, so it's, I still go look and I still actively seek the stuff, but actually the most enjoyment I get out of it now is talking about it and looking at it and that sort of thing. It's only a lot of years of work to finally get to enjoy it now. But I love the hunt, though. I mean, I'm not a big game hunter, but I'm a junk hunter.
Looking for this stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's always fun reading about it and learning about it.
So how do you decide where to go? I mean, do you ever get leads or clues. Somebody says, hey, I know a place where you go looking, or
Oh yeah.
you just talk to people and they tell you where things might have been at one time, and you kind of dig around and see what you can find.
Yeah. It's just, like I said, 30 some years of doing it too. Just kind of have a little bit of an instinct now. I don't know. I've lucked out and found some stuff in my time that I definitely believe it was just pure luck. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm so passionate about this, because I always think that that's part of the reason I've been able to get what I have is just being enthusiastic about it more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool. So what is it that you like to share the best about mining history? Is it the men behind it, or we're looking at a lot of signs that businesses have obviously created these. Mm-hmm. There was people that actually did this stuff for a living. They made the signs and obviously like the gauges and things. But what is it that you like sharing the best about mining history, or Butte mining history?
I think you really hit the nail on the head right there. I mean, that's the thing. Everything in this room. I mean, we can go look at a miner's candlestick, for instance, and that was used for lighting down there. But like you said, there was a store clerk that had it. Somebody at the mine ordered them. Mm-hmm. A blacksmith made them.
Yeah.
There's just a whole line of people. And that's why we had such a huge population here. It's just you got the one miner down there breaking rock, and you've got a whole drove of people supporting that miner.
Yeah.
And that's what built this town. And that's I think that's probably my favorite part about it. And I just, I don't know. I like it all.
Yeah. No, there was definitely, everybody had a job.
Yeah.
Even the shoelace lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoestring Annie.
Shoestring Annie. Even she had a job. People were very resourceful back then. I mean, if they knew there was a need for something, they stepped into the gap and they filled the gap with, shoelaces.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what it was all about. Do you think that'll ever come back to not just Butte, but America? I mean, it seems to me that we've lost a little bit of that. Things are becoming automated.
Well,
obviously, stuff goes overseas. But do you think that will ever come back to America, where people will be making things and stepping in the gap, so to speak?
I think it exists in a lot of places. I mean, the thing about it is, I think, just like if we were back in 1910, we might not have realized that's what was going on. Mm-hmm. It's just everyday part of our lives now, so we probably don't recognize it, and it's going on around us right now. But I mean, that's one of the reasons I love this town so much, is because there's still that kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
There's still craftsmen here. There's still support people. There's still people that are into history. Mm-hmm. You got your let's take Stevie Faulkner, for instance. Still running around uptown, shiny shoes.
That's right. Yeah.
Telling stories. I mean, there you go. There's things like, you're not going to find that everywhere in the world.
Yeah. No, that's all part of it, for sure.
It's definitely still a survival city, and it's just exciting.
Yeah. So this is kind of like a way far out question, but if you hadn't gone into mining, what do you think you'd be doing now?
Well, what I wanted to do was, and way back in high school in South Dakota, I wanted to be a building restorationist. That's what I used to always say.
Yeah.
That's what I always wanted to do. I love historic architecture, and I just wanted to, I always wanted to do the hands-on part of it, but I also wanted to do the research and try to find out what the facade should look like and what businesses were there. I kind of get to do that here for fun. Mm-hmm. Whether people want me to or not, I kind of jump in and offer to do it because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
But I was actually going to go to college to be a surveyor.
Really?
I worked for a surveying crew in South Dakota, and I really enjoyed that. Uh-huh. And life circumstances kind of came along the way, and I ended up going to be a miner, but I probably would have ended up in it anyway. Uh-huh. It's just, yeah.
You could still get into that. I mean, restoring a build. There's a need for that now. I mean, especially in Butte, they want to fix things up and make them look nice, and I think that's commendable.
And we're getting there. This town's went through a lot of transitions in its life, and we're getting a lot of people that are promoting the town, like yourself, and trying to shake that old fist fighting and getting drunk Butte, Montana, to a little bit more of the
brawling, drunken miners. Yeah.
little
stay out of the alleys type place. Yeah.
Oh, I love the alleys. That's why I walk through them all the time.
The alleys are very interesting in Uptown Butte, because a lot of them haven't changed. They still have the old metal gates and the. I think they're extremely fascinating, and I'm sure if I could, my husband, I think, kind of has to rein me in, is like, don't go in there. You shouldn't probably go down that particular alley. But I like to explore too. I like to look at things and see the old stuff. But
well, I think our police force and our city government and everybody's done a good job of cleaning up Uptown Butte without wiping the history away. You know, you still get your characters.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple individuals that are pretty notorious uptown yesterday walk up and ask for $1 so they could buy a beer. I gave them each $1, and then they mentioned that at the terminal meets it's actually $2 for a beer, so they wanted another dollar each. Oh well, you know, I mean,
tell them to share it.
Yeah,
split it.
One of Butte's greatest assets are their characters. So, you know, you gotta think those people have a story and have something too. I mean, I hear a lot of negativity about some of the people here, but everybody's got a story.
They do. Well, they're human beings.
Smile and talk to them. I mean, that's the best part. That's how I usually start my day in Butte, is to go uptown and walk around and, I don't know, kind of try to treat everybody like they're my best friend, because I absolutely love this town. And I love the people here.
Yeah. It shows, Dustin. It really shows. I mean, I see your posts and you're hanging out with some really cool people, and you're, you know, definitely curating the history as it should be. You're not polishing it up and making it look prettier than, you know, it should. It's real life, hardworking people, and it's life. That's what it's about. So and that's kind of what we're trying to do with the Experience Butte page. It's not, it's the people. It's the people that count, because if you want to move to Butte, you need to know who your neighbor is, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's not just the buildings, even though that's a part of it, you know. And
well, there is an unendless supply of wonderful people in this town. You know, a lot of. I've never been in a place in my entire life where people are more willing to help out. And, you know, you're going to find bad people no matter where you go.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter.
That's everywhere.
But this is still a rough and tough, hardworking. I mean, you can walk uptown. This is my favorite thing. You can walk uptown and you can see people walking down the street, and you can just pretty much figure out that these are their relatives here, because they've got, I don't know if you want to say the ethnicity, but you can just see people that you're like, yeah, that's a Butte person. They've been here their entire life.
It's the walk.
Yeah.
It's the walk.
Yeah.
You notice how they walk. You see an older gentleman walking down the street, and either he's worked in the mining, you can tell.
Yeah.
Or just the way they shake your hand. There's just something about that, you know, that blue collar. There's a blue collar feel. I don't want to stereotype it, because, you know, that's not what we like to do. But there's something about, you can tell. It's the walk and the talk.
Oh, yeah.
And even if it's a woman, you know, you can tell if she grew up in a mining. There's just something about him. And so, there is definitely hardworking ethic that runs in the blood here. So
some people say it's the water, but I drink the water. I love it.
Yeah, water. I think we have the best water in the state, according to the officials and the higher ups. Well, we now have the best water in the state. So I think some people think, the out of towners, I think that we drink it straight out of the pit.
Yeah,
we know we don't. We don't.
That's a stigma.
Not yet.
Definitely have to fight. But yeah, the pit's definitely our black eye. But you know, that
unique feature. Let's call it
is
that.
A unique feature. Someday they'll
figure it out.
Figured out and cleaned up, and there's millions of dollars worth of copper sludge laying at the bottom of it right now. So obviously Dennis Washington thought it was worth keep going. So you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to come down to the end of so I don't want to take up your day, because you've got family coming in.
Oh, my family's coming today. Yeah,
Sweet.
I'm pretty excited about that. We'll get the whole gang of people over here looking around.
Do you take them uptown and show them all the...
Oh, yeah.
I bet you get so excited when you get to do that.
I really do, yeah.
You're like, oh, check this out. And they're like, are we there yet?
Well, pretty much, my like I said, my whole family, this was where we came for vacation when I was a little kid.
Really?
I had an uncle who lived on a houseboat in Olympia, Washington, in Puget Sound, so we